For as long as people have heard voices, there have been differences of opinion as to their nature and cause. Throughout the 20th century, the idea that voices are caused by mental illnesses, particularly by schizophrenia, has come to dominate medical knowledge. In this view, voices are auditory hallucinations that need to be suppressed with antipsychotic medication. However, since the late 1970s, another idea has found much favour with people who hear voices, that their voices are a psychological response to life experiences, particularly childhood trauma. In this approach, people try to understand the meaning of their voices and then negotiate ways of living with them. In this film, Kate, Bob and Shaun talk about their experience of hearing voices, the reasons for their voices, and the ways in which they have learned to live with them.
What are these voices that you hear? I mean, tell us a bit about that.
I believe that the voices are, to me, aliens, because until I gave them my identity, they never had an identity. They were like genderless. I couldn't distinguish whether they were male or female. And they would tell me that they were coming in their spaceships, and that they were aliens. So hence, as well, aliens, I believe in aliens, so I was more prone to believe them what they say. Because if they said to me that they were God or the devil or somebody like that, I probably wouldn't believe them, because although I respect people's beliefs, I personally don't believe there's a God, because things in my life that happened, I felt that God would have or should have intervened, you know, and because he didn't, I thought, I got to thinking when I was a child, there's no such good person out there. So obviously with me believing in aliens, I feel that voices take on the perspective of what you believe in. As I said, hence me, aliens, so that they can get you by the Achilles heel. They can have that fear, that impact. Because as I said before, if it was God or the devil, I would be like, yeah, okay, there's no such thing, so it wouldn't have that impact. But because the voices at the time wanted to go for the jugular, they wanted that pound of flesh, I knew the way that they would get me was by saying we're aliens.
It started quite early. For me, unknown to me at the time, I suppose really as a child would have a friend, an imaginary friend. It started with me with voices in my head. I didn't actually physically see people, I just heard people telling me to do things. Such an early age, I can go into abuse, that I had sexual abuse, which more or less now that I know, brought on the voices, the trauma and the paranoia that I've lived 57 years of my life from them days. Stigmas from other people not understanding is the main bear of my life. Being frightened to tell people that I've got voices, being frightened to tell people that I have been sexually abused. It's all coming out now in these later years through simply by talking about it, being honest about it. And a lot of my memories that I had forgot as a child, I started to come back, because my interpretation of myself is that I've been mad from such an early age.
So I've got four main voices that are more or less constantly there. The grizzly one that appears in and out, during times of my life when things are better or worse. The other three are there more or less permanently. I do hear other voices that come and go. Sometimes I can just hear a voice, for half an hour, and I'll never hear it again for the rest of my life. Other ones reappear and come off. They're not, but the main focus is these three, and the four if you count the grizzly voice. But if sort of over time built up, it started with one, and then another one appeared, and another one appeared, and another one appeared. So I think the focus really for me is just these 4 voices. The other ones, like I say, they can. I don't call it a relationship I have with the voices, but I sort of, I think we have a bit of a mutual understanding of each other, if you like. Whereas the other ones, I don't sort of have any sort of relationship with it because they come and they go. They might appear and never appear again.
But the minor side about hearing voices is the uncontrollable amount of time that it attacks you. Mainly in the morning for me, mainly in the evening. Just as I wake up, just as I'm going to sleep. They're the most prolific now, whereas before it was through the day. I can now go to sleep thinking about something else and trying to get through the noise. And it's 2.5 years now I've been doing that, and I'm getting there. It's an apprenticeship, and I'm doing it. And I believe that this talking is 90% apprenticeship. The doctors, the psychiatrists, the hospitals, the surgeries do not know about what we're going through, and they don't know how to instigate it into your mental health issues. And I feel like today that I'm going to be able to tell somebody that Sheffield is very lucky in having this group.
You go to colleges to help train nursing students and to and you've presented at conferences and that. That's why do you give that kind of testimony? Because these are not good experiences, and you're reliving them when you tell these stories.
I give it to give people hope, because I was always told that I'd have this brain disease and that I'd never recover from, and I thought, and I'm glad it was Bill, and I thought to myself, no, I want to give people hope. I don't want social worker students qualifying, or nurses qualifying and treating patients the same way I was. I do that. I talk at conferences and do groups at hospitals and outside hospitals to give people hope, to say, look, this is where I am. You could be this way as well. I was once where you were, once in your shoes. It's not the end, and letting people know that they can tell their story and recover. I mean, I use a lot of humour in my story, because otherwise it'd just be tragedy and it wouldn't help probably no one, including myself. But I find that putting humour in my story as well helps me. And if I can reach people, whether it be patients, staff that are treating their patients or clients, any hope, that's all that I need. This is why I can be strong and do it for these people, because I wish that I had someone out there like a voice, someone like Peter Bullimore, who was there for me. Until I met Peter Bullimore, I had no one, but yet this guy was like me. He heard voices, but he had a life. That was the different thing. I never had a life, but here he was, and I thought, he can't be ill, he's the nurse, he's doing that. And this man, and I know he doesn't like praise, but he opened up to me and he shared his experience, and he showed me, it was like when you touched his hand, it was love and empathy there, and he showed me how to get my life back. And I just wanted to show people the same, that, take them by the hand and just say, it's going to be a rocky road, but you can do it, and I'll be there hopefully to help you.